Hey everyone, welcome back to In the Alley. My name is Cody. Glad you guys are back for another video. Friday night football, it is the Tulsa Oilers and the Fishers Freight, their home opener. Let's go talk about it. Alrighty, so we have a 6:05 p.m. Central Time kickoff on a Friday night on the Indoor Football League Network. Subscribe, $30 gets you the entire season, not just per month. I've seen some stuff out there that says per month, but $30 for an entire season. We're already a couple weeks in, so who knows if they'll drop the price or whatever, but there you have it. The 1-0 Tulsa Oilers, with their win coming on the road against the San Antonio Gunslingers, taking on the 1-0 Fishers Freight, who just won last week at Northern Arizona. So, both teams have a win. Someone's going 2-0, which, if you would have told me Fishers has an opportunity to be 2-0 2 weeks into the season, probably would have laughed at you. But anyway, let's look at our impact players now. Still don't have the stats. They're somewhere. Each team has their own stats apparently, but they just refuse to show the public. So I'm going to do impact players here. Kind of talk a little bit about the defense as well, since I've been kind of just all offensive for the first couple of weeks. But impact players for both sides: TJ Edwards, Jaya Wright, both those quarterbacks, dual threat. They're probably going to run the ball. Simple as that. I mean, they'll run the ball, they'll throw the ball, they will take deep shots. Kind of saw it in both their games. For Tulsa, I've got Faison McClurge here. I mean, that chemistry that he had with TJ Edwards on that one deep shot where he was behind the defense against San Antonio, you can't make that up. On the other side, John Lewis, he ran the ball really well, and you need someone that can run the ball to spell Jaya Wright if he's going to take the load of the carries. John Lewis did very well with his first game with Fishers. On the defensive side of the ball, Tulsa, I have Calvin Bundage. He did really well against San Antonio, getting pressure, sacking Malik Henry. I mean, he was doing everything that he could from that linebacker spot. We'll need more of that if Jaya Wright's going to run the ball. You need him to kind of step up when it comes on that side. Isaiah Reed for Fishers, he did have the thick six, but that defensive line was getting a push up front and really causing some trouble for Northern Arizona. Led to sacks, led to kind of some bad throws coming out of the hand, causing fumbles and stuff like that. Was that the defensive line getting the push, or maybe just some first game jitters? I don't know, but that defensive line and that defense as a whole looks really good for the Freight. Let's talk injury report here. Tulsa Oilers, they have Laquivionte Gonzalez added to the short-term injured reserve. Everyone else kind of stays the same, and we'll talk about the 25-man roster in a minute. For Fishers, nothing changes. So everything that they had last week against Northern Arizona, they have this week as well. So that's what we have for the injuries. Over to the game odds, we have an over-under of 80.5, with Fishers being favored by 1.5. Had to change up the sports book here. This time it's FanDuel instead of DraftKings. By the time I left work, DraftKings had not updated anything, so had to go with FanDuel. So over-under of 80.5, Fishers favored at home by 1.5. And then money line, slightly juiced more towards Fishers. There is no plus money for Tulsa. That shows you how close this game is, and FanDuel's odds are wonky. But that's where we have it. We are at the Fishers Event Center in Fishers, Indiana. This will be the first indoor football game there. They've already had concerts, events, hockey, everything like that. So we're looking for a packed house in Fishers, Indiana. And our head-to-head, well, it's our first meeting between the two teams, so they've never played. We're 0-0, but someone's going to get win number one. So let's go check out our bet, our prediction. Well, actually, we need to check out our 25-man roster first, and then our bet prediction. We get on out of here. All right, so 25-man rosters popping up here, and away side, as always. For the Tulsa Oilers, not much has changed from their very first game a few weeks ago. They've had a bye week. Coming into this one, the only changes were Laquivionte Gonzalez put on short-term injured reserve and Patrick Barrett taken off short-term injured reserve. So there's a little bit of help and depth at that offensive line position. TJ Edwards, most likely going to be your starter. And just like a few weeks ago, I didn't see anything on the transactions page that said they brought in a running back. So it'll be a running back by committee type of thing. And we'll kind of see. Like I said, they had Sheldon Augustine, Hassan Rogers. Laquivionte Gonzalez is on short-term injured reserve, so we'll see if they put someone else kind of in there. But for the most part, we'll see what they do with a running back by committee mode again. Speaking of that, Novak Tyrone Howell, Sheldon Augustine, Cole Blackman, and Faison McClurge round out your wide receiving core. A little thin right there, especially if one of them has to be a running back, but maybe they just go empty for most of the game. Offensive line, Jeremy West, Patrick Barrett, Zach Branner, Kerry Reynolds. Just more of the same there. Like I said, Barrett off a short-term injured reserve to add a little bit of depth there. We'll see if he suits up. On the defensive side of the ball, Rudy Gowney, Jacarius Smith, Esias Carpenter, and Trey Smalls for the defensive line. Again, no changes defensively for Tulsa against Fishers, just like they had against San Antonio. We'll see who starts and who doesn't, but everything really just kind of stays the same. Calvin Bundage and Marquez Bembry, your linebackers. Bundage got the start. Bembry could get the start this week. We'll kind of see, but Bundage kind of showed out there. I'm not going to lie to you, so I think he has another week to earn his keep. On the secondary side, Taylor Hawkins, Ramon Morris, Kentrell Pierce, Isaiah Smith, Katron Allen, and Trey Harvey. That's still a loaded secondary, and they're going to have to bring it against a wide receiving core that, for all intents and purposes, wasn't, I wouldn't say too impressive, but like they were there, but they were serviceable, dare I say. Like nothing kind of blew me away when it came to that. There were some deep passes for sure. Most notably the incompletion that might have been a touchdown, which what is a catch to JT Stokes, but we'll see what happens with this secondary. Hawkins, Morris, Pierce, Allen, Harvey, they show out. And if they can make this Fishers team one-dimensional, you have a chance. On to the Fishers side, Jaya Wright will be your starting quarterback, Keegan Shoemaker as your backup. John Lewis got the start. We'll see if John Gay gets in at all or if they still just dress one running back. JT Stokes, Julian Walker, Shavera Smith, Isaiah Cox, and Jordan Kress round out your wide receiving core. I do not believe Julian Walker suited up, but I think they had Stokes, Smith, Cox, and Kress for your wide receivers. AJ Forbes, LaQuinston Sharp, and Jeremy Cooper were your starters on offensive line last week. Jatarius Spivey will go in there as more of a depth piece. We'll see if they kind of switch it up a little bit there or if they just kind of run it back. Defensively, again, no changes for Fishers to my knowledge. Oakley, Swan, Horsey, Tylen Wallace, and Isaiah Reed for that defensive line. I think Oakley, Swan, and Isaiah Reed were your starters. Robert Horsey was your reserve. Tylen Wallace did not suit up, so again, there could be some shuffling going on there. Tamar Hart, your only linebacker. He played pretty well. And then on the secondary, Kareem Golden, Aaron Jackson, and Jaden Rowe, AJ Felton, Devin Hafford. I believe all five of them suited up, with Jaden Rowe being the odd man out, kind of being that reserve there in the secondary. So again, maybe some shuffling, but for all intents and purposes, no big changes there. Forgot to mention Ross Moore, Michael Beloga are your two kickers for both teams. And there's your 25-man rosters. We'll see if anything changes from starters from last week to 2 weeks ago with both teams. We'll just have a grand old time. So let's go take a look at our bet, our prediction, and we move on. All right, so bet time, prediction time. I have Fishers, money line, minus 128. And I know the odds are a little bit better at minus 1.5. It could be a 1-point game. Now, I'm not wanting to pull the trigger on that. I will take slightly less odds, a little bit less money if Fishers wins. It's a home opener. Crowd's going to be buzzing. You just came off a nice victory against Northern Arizona. A lot of momentum when it came to that. The defense showed out. 2 pick sixes. Defensive line was looking good. The secondary was looking good. Caveat to that: how good is Northern Arizona? That's the big question. On the flip side, how good is San Antonio? Because Tulsa beat them at San Antonio, and San Antonio went out and beat Bay Area, who, for all intents and purposes, I think Bay Area is a very good playoff team. They made the playoffs last year. So we're kind of going transitive property here of, did you beat this team, then that means you're better than this team, things along those lines. I think Fishers is going to steal this one. I do. I think that defensive line is going to come rocking. I think they're going to shut down the passing game and even maybe some of the running game of Tulsa, because this is like kind of identical offenses, dare I say. Both quarterbacks love to run. Throwing the ball is all right, but they would probably prefer to run the ball if they choose to. And we know that TJ Edwards can use his arm, can use his legs. That's where Tulsa might have the upper hand, though. The jury is still out for me for Jaya Wright. He is a capable passer. I do not believe he is on the passing level as TJ Edwards. Clearly an MVP. Jaya Wright is not. So I think with what TJ Edwards has in his arsenal, if that running game can get going to open up the passing game, Tulsa could take this one. But I'm picking Fishers in this one just for the sole purpose of it's at home. You have your crowd behind you. You are 1-0. I think it would be different. I think I'd probably pick Tulsa if Fishers had lost. But they won. You have a huge crowd with you. I know I've said that like a couple of times, but it could make a difference here. Tulsa does look good, but they've come off a bye week. Have they built that chemistry? Do they look rusty? Was the running back position completely overblown on my part? I don't know. I like the way that Jair Wright and John Lewis were running. I like the way the defense clamped down. If Fishers can get their passing game going and connect early and often, they have a chance to win this one. My prediction for this game, 37-35, Fishers steals it. So, that's what I have. Like I said, I just think it's Fishers eking it out. It could be a final play touchdown, final play field goal. I have no idea. But that's just kind of where I'm with it. My gut is telling me Fishers money line. I know I've said it damn near every preview. I'm not surprised if Tulsa wins it. We're still kind of in this like first couple of weeks phase to feel each team out. And if Tulsa wins this one, I do think it's because they are a better passing team. I am hinging that Fishers gets the passing game going. If not, it could be a long day, but we'll see. 37-35, Fishers takes it. Fishers money line. Let's go wrap everything up and get out of here. And that is it for our Tulsa at Fishers preview. I'm really looking forward to this. It's just some question marks. What has Tulsa learned in the bye week? Fishers with a nice win on the road. Now they come back home. Tulsa on the road again. So two road games in a row for Tulsa. It doesn't get any easier. Is that something that they have learned? Like, hey, we're going on the road, business trip. Fishers coming home. Like, there's a lot of variables here that could really turn the tide, in my opinion. But yeah, I'm ready for it. I'm ready to see how both these teams do, and we just kind of go from there. So with that being said, guys, I'm going to take off here because I am actually really excited for this game. I want to see how Tulsa plays against that defense and how good does Fishers look against that Tulsa defense. I don't think it'll necessarily be a defensive game, but I do think the defenses will have their time to shine, if that makes sense. If it doesn't, I don't know how else to explain it. Like, there will be moments where the defenses are like, yeah, there we go. And there might be times where the offenses throw it deep and you're like, hey, where's the defense there? So that's just how I think. I think it'll be a nice little back and forth game. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have here. So I'm going to take off here, guys. Love and appreciate every single one of you. As always, like, comment, share, subscribe, whatever you guys want to do. Do not care. So with that being said, I'm taking off here. Love and appreciate every single one of you. As always, until then, see you.